everybody. This is the third interview for Superhumans of ECE, which is a platform where I come together with different professionals in the field, and we explore some questions, we find some common themes, and we just really connect. So I'm going to hand it over to my third superhuman of ECE, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. And she's going to talk a little bit about her background in the profession and what she's kind of up to right now.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much again, Mona, for having me. My name is Christine Cuenca. I am an educator and new mom and the founder and creator of Kind and Confident Education. So I am actually a teacher. I have dreamt of honestly becoming a teacher since I was probably in high school. It first originally started with my love for the arts and for drama and wanting to be a drama teacher. And then over about a 10-year period, I worked across the city of bunch of recreation programs, teaching dance, doing music programs, all that fun stuff, summer camp, you name it, I've probably done it. And so throughout all of my experiences with all different age groups, I just knew that teaching and the education field was just where my heart was, and it was what I would like to do with my life, honestly. And so now I actually became a new mom in 2018, and when I had my daughter... Thank you. She really is the light of my life, and she is such a little motivator and inspiration for everything that I do now. Not only wanting to change the world and be there for students to empower them, but now to just create a community that my daughter can grow up that is just going to be kind. And so for over the years as well, I also have done a lot of personal development with meditation and yoga and learning about mindfulness. And so when I had my daughter, I was so excited to actually share that love and share those interests with her. And so that's when Kind and Confident Education was born. And so we actually offer parent and child programs ages 0 to 10 years old in Vaughan in our learning space studio in Kleinburg. And we actually do programs here for them, just focusing on building self-love, focusing on building confidence, and just really trying to create a space to foster connection and learning.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And I love the inspiration of where it stemmed from. I think that's so sweet. How do parents go about registering?
Yeah, so we actually have a website. The link is in our Instagram page, so Kind and Confident Ed. We have the link in the bio there, and they can just register on our website.
Oh, beautiful. So I will make sure to tag you in the picture that I upload onto Instagram and Facebook. So for whoever's listening, go ahead and check that out. I do follow her page, and I love the stuff that you post. So it kind of goes into our next question, or our first question, actually. I know right now things are really uncertain for maybe families and educators, and a lot of people are staying at home, which is great because we're trying to, save lives by staying at home. So what are some ways that you think parents or educators can support little ones right now in terms of their mental health, and what are some daily strategies maybe that you've been trying at home yourself too?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually... it's definitely a trying time for everyone. And so I'm actually so grateful for technology because it's giving us an opportunity to be able to connect still and be able to share resources as educators, because we miss our students and just as much as they miss being in our programs and in school and everything, right? So so some of the things that we are really encouraging parents to do, we on our Instagram page and on our website, we're constantly sharing different ideas and tips and resources as well that people can use at home. But just a couple quick things that I would be more than happy to share is one of the things that we are really big believers in is mindfulness and just focusing on gratitude. So some of the things that we incorporate in our own lives, and we encourage parents to do so as well, is actually having a gratitude journal. So obviously it depends if our students can write or not, but even if they can't, it can just be a conversation and something that mom and dad write down for them, right? Or they draw a picture. There's so many different ways you can do it, but definitely having a gratitude journal that you can fill out every day and just find something to be grateful for that day. I find that when we are able to be in gratitude, we can't be anything else. And so it really to just be present and just try to find some peace of mind and calmness in that moment. And so we actually have a free gratitude journal, kids gratitude journal, to download a digital copy on our website and in our bio as well. So anyone listening, if you'd love to get your hands on a free kids gratitude journal, please feel free to go and download that. We'd love for you to use that with your little ones.
Oh, that's incredible. I think I'll look for the link that you said, and I'll post that up actually.
Yeah,
so people can have it handy.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks for sharing that.
Yes. Oh, no problem. Yeah, so that's like one of the things for sure. Another really great thing that we are highly recommending is to stay active. Trying to make some time every day to, whether it's your little ones love to have a dance party, do some yoga.
Yeah.
Just for a family walk, obviously in a safe manner, but just definitely keep active. I think keeping our bodies moving and in motion is definitely a way to help calm our minds and keep our spirits positive and aligned, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Thank you for sharing those tips. I'm sure listeners will find that helpful. I love the gratitude journal idea. I have a gratitude journal myself, and it's amazing
that's awesome.
how much you can shift your thoughts by just starting to focus on what you're grateful for. And you're right. I feel like when you start writing that out, you can't focus on much more because you have something you're really grateful for in front of you. So I really like that. And I like that parents or educators can download that off for free. That's awesome.
No problem.
So the next question kind of ties into what you spoke about, but I guess this one would be more so personal for you. What are some tools you think you value most as a professional in what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. The great thing is we definitely, like I said before, technology has really been a blessing in being able to allow us to bring so many more things into the classroom. And now with being able to still connect with our students at home as well during this trying times, I definitely feel like technology has been a really great tool to help us expand our learning and being able to, just have that e-learning as well. And I think also just collaboration, not only students, and finding out with them what they're interested in, providing them with choice, and in their learning. So definitely collaborating with other professionals, but also with our students.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you spoke about technology being a great resource right now. And I definitely resonate with that. And especially because there's lots of articles and debates about whether technology is good for children or not. But I think this is a great learning opportunity to be able to show them what it can be used for, other maybe than what they have been using it for. So I think it's a great opportunity to be able to do that too, to show that we can stay connected, even though there's a bit of a disconnect right now with what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're finally learning how to use technology in a beneficial way that allows us to actually connect. And I mean, it goes back to just our passion and philosophy about mindfulness. It's always about balance, right? I totally understand also as a first-time mom, not wanting my daughter to watch too much TV or wanting her to be on a because she's going to have that exposure in her entire lifetime because that's just the world we live in. But just remembering to give yourself some grace and that it's okay. It's all about balance and teaching them how to use technology in a productive way, in a way that's going to empower them to make safe and kind choices. And I feel like this whole situation is actually giving us that opportunity to really use it in the way that I think it was originally designed for.
Exactly, definitely. I couldn't agree more. It's a good learning opportunity. So the other question is, what self-care methods do you use to stay motivated in your work? And I know we've been touching upon that throughout the interview so far, but if you want to add anything else to it.
Yeah, 100%. So one of the things that I personally do is I do practice yoga. My yoga practice has definitely evolved and transformed as I've become a mom because, I don't really exactly have that full hour to do a full, full class or full routine and whatnot. But but it's actually really been such an interesting learning opportunity for my daughter as well, because I still roll out that mat and do what I need to do. Now I find that she's actually coming and trying to copy me.
Oh,
So
I
think
love
it's like,
that.
yeah, so I think it's actually a perfect learning opportunity for our kids too, that when we're actually taking care of ourselves, they are actually observing that and learning from that. And so they're going to understand that self-care is a non-negotiable. It is essential. And that's how you really enroll your kids in trying new things, by modeling yourselves, right? So for me, yoga. I also love to read as well. And it's so funny because I wasn't always a reader, especially as a student. I really, really wasn't. But I think it was through my education and becoming an educator that I just fostered such a love for reading. And again, it's just so to actually read in front of your kids and make reading a part of your daily routine, because it just fosters that love for literacy. And it's a great quiet activity that everyone can participate in. So that's another really great thing we love to do, is to do a lot of reading. And also meditation. That's something that I've kind of been in and out of over the years, but recently, with everything that's been going on, I've actually been participating in Instagram Live daily meditation with Jay Shetty. He is a former monk who is actually now talking about mindfulness and meditation. And so every day I've been actually doing his meditations, and it's just so incredible how it's just really helped me be centered, find my calm with all this chaos that's going on, and just really recharging and just remembering, the type of educator, the type of mom I'm committed to being. And I just find it really, really helpful with just, any anxiety or, big emotions that we're all experiencing.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you grounded. You mentioned, sorry, are you still there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you're still there. Okay, I thought we disconnected. Sometimes my Wi-Fi goes a little bit buggy. No. You mentioned Jay Shetty. Actually, I follow some of his stuff too. I think he's really great. If you're interested, they had a Red Table Talk. I don't know if you heard it. I don't know if you've heard of Red Table Talk, but they posted up on Facebook.
I have heard of it, but I haven't watched his recently. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go check it out.
Yes, he's in there, and there's also a psychologist with them in the talk too. I can't remember her name, but it's really good. It's one of the recent talks that they've done, and it's really good. I feel like, and they talk about coronavirus and basically what it means for our mental health right now, and how we can kind of understand what's maybe happening with our brain at the time and what we can do to keep ourselves grounded. And I do believe they touch upon meditation and journaling and stuff like that too. So it was a really good talk, but I just remembered when you talked about it. And I think something that you mentioned that I think is so important is the modeling, right? So we can talk about things endlessly, but the way that we model it for children around us, for people around us, is what really makes a big impact. And yeah, I've seen some of the videos of your little one, and she comes and tries and do the yoga poses. I think that's so precious, and that's really important to see, right? She sees mommy taking care of her mental health, and it's a non-negotiable thing. It's something that we need to take care of, right? So we really like those.
Absolutely. Yeah, when we're taking care of ourselves, we're able to be the best version of ourselves, right? And then everybody in your home will feed off of that. So, somebody actually said this quote to me once, that, the mom always weathers the storm in the house. So if mom's feeling great, everyone's feeling great. And if mom is feeling not so great,
everybody can feel the impact.
And it just really resonated with me, and I recognize how that totally happens in our home and our family. So I think it's a perfect example in general. The way what we give out is what we receive. So when we're at our best, and we're at our calmest, and we're so fulfilled with love, then that's exactly what we're going to receive, because that's what we're giving to others, right?
Yeah, they're feeding off of that energy. That's a great point. I love that. Yeah. So the last question is, what is one way, or maybe a few ways, you think that our profession as educators, as children's developmental services or children's services, how do you think that we can improve?
Yes. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful question.
Yeah.
we are lifelong learners. That's what
Mm-hmm.
our profession is all about, and there really is there's no such thing as perfection in life. It's all about progress. And so one of the things that I just am so passionate about is bringing mindfulness and kids
Mm-hmm.
yoga into our profession, into our classrooms. I think we have to just remember that unless our students have healthy emotional well-being, they're not going to be able to learn. And so
Mm-hmm.
if we are able to make that a daily part of our classroom routines, a daily part of our, our curriculum,
Yeah.
honestly, our curriculum, that mental health a part of it, our students are going to be able to learn so much more and really retain so much more and just have deeper relationships and connections with themselves and with those around them and just have this whole new sense of community. So I just think it's so important that we make mental health and our children's emotional well-being just a focal point and the center of everything that we do in the classroom. I know when I had graduated from Teachers College as an occasional teacher, it's always interesting going into new classrooms, meeting students for the first time,
Yeah.
and trying to find your way around and whatnot. But I constantly bring in our Love Powered Co affirmation cards, and I always do affirmations with the kids, and I'll always bring in like a mindful story. And it's funny because I'm only there for one day, so they kind of are looking at me like, "Lady, you're a little strange," and I totally am fine. I see how there's always a handful of students who are just kind of blown away, taken back, and just so enjoy it. And I'm like, if they had more of this, the way that we have relationships, the way we communicate, the way that we work together, the way that it would improve and expand is just incredible. So I just think it's so important that we foster that into our daily routines, into our curriculum would be the dream.
It would be. I know. Because it all stems from that, right? How your emotional well-being is. It puts off for like everything in terms of your academic and stuff like that, and how your day goes and how you're interacting, how you're making connections. That's why I think these conversations are so important with different professionals in this profession, because we're talking about what's worked, what hasn't worked, like your experience about going into different classrooms, and it's taken back the students when you introduce that stuff. I remember being in ECE and going and starting this myself. Like, we started doing deep breathing, we started doing some mindfulness visualization, and the children were so shocked by it when I first introduced it, because it was so foreign. It was like, what are you doing and why are you doing this? But in time, it became something that really supported them and relaxing, and they'd actually ask for it at some point. So I think I totally agree. It's such an important thing, and the dream would be to incorporate it in terms of our academic system. So I think that's why it's so important to have these conversations for educators and for people to hear, and families to hear that this stuff does work. It really does, and it's really important that it is incorporated into the classroom or into just the daily lives of children. So I think that's great that you mentioned that. I definitely think it is.
Yeah, and I'll actually just share a quick little story as well. One of the classes that I was in with my affirmation cards and my mindful story and whatnot, when you, as an occasional teacher, you get your daily plans and whatnot, and the teacher will leave you notes about, just be aware of these allergies and whatnot. And they always kind of have a little section as well about, just be aware of students A, B, and C who may need assistance or might need reminders and whatnot. And so, I had read that and whatnot. And when I actually was doing this activity, the students who, the teacher was kind of warning me to be on guard about, they were the ones who were the most involved and the most, participate and raising their hand, and the ECE in the room was like, oh my goodness, the student never raises their hand to answer a question, and they're raising their hand to participate in this affirmation activity.
That's amazing.
That is so crazy. And I was just like, oh, this is just melting my heart, because that's exactly what it's about, empowering them and just helping them develop their self-love and just building that confidence in themselves. So it definitely works. It's definitely important. And yeah, I think our students and our children's emotional well-being has to be number one if we want them to succeed and thrive in anything else,
For
right?
sure, definitely. And I love that you touched upon that. I think because I've been a resource consultant before and I've went into classrooms where educators will maybe point out certain children with challenging behaviors. And then you'll see some of those pieces in terms of deep breathing or relaxation, or like you talked about affirmations. Like it resonated with those children because it was maybe a strategy that they haven't been used to, that they can use to keep
100%.
themselves self-regulated, right? To be able to learn better in the day, to play better, to make connections. So I think that's so important that you touched upon that. I think that's amazing. Oh, that's such a sweet story. I love that.
Thank you.
So the last little piece is just I'm going to be posting a picture, of course, a picture of your choice. I'm hoping you've had a little bit of a chance to think about what you want me to post, but I'm going to ask you to
Yeah.
maybe describe and why you decided to choose this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I actually recently did a mini photo shoot, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
of myself doing some different yoga poses in our learning space in one. And so, this is actually the one that I'm going to be sharing with you to share. I just feel like it is such a true representation of my heart and of what
Oh.
I want to for the world, for our children. Just, making self care a priority, exploring new things and new ways to move our body so that we can find that inner calm and be empowered.
Mm-hmm.
And, for me, our learning space really is such a reflection of the type of space that I want all our children to be able to learn and to grow in. Just being able to have a learning space that fosters wonder, that fosters imagination, but fosters kindness and
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness as well. So that's really why I would love to share that photo with you, because I just feel like it's such a true representation of my heart
Yeah.
and of what we're doing with confident. And yeah, so we hopefully you guys will like it.
I'm sure
And
they will.
yeah, no,
Oh.
it's a really fitting, it's a perfect. I think it's the perfect fit
Yeah.
for what we are all about.
Perfect. I can't wait to share that. I'm super excited.
Oh, thank
Oh, it's awesome. I
you.
really want to thank you for taking this time and sharing, I think, so many deep and personal pieces to be able for other people to be able to hear and hear what they can pick out and what resonates with them. I really appreciate you taking the time, especially during this time. Is there any other
Oh, no
pieces you
problem.
wanted to add?
No, not at all. I just want to thank you so much again, Mona, for reaching out and for us being able to connect. I think this is the most perfect time
Yes,
for
for
us to
sure.
be connecting, us being able to spread some love and positivity. And for me, I feel like these are the conversations that we need to have more of. These are
Yep.
the kinds of conversations we need to encourage our children to have with their friends, like actually talk about what's important to them, what their dreams are, and just
Mm-hmm.
empower one another. And when before we used to have the saying of, you can really do anything you want to do. You can really
Mm-hmm.
become anything you want to. And I feel like we have to just get back to those basics and actually remind our students that truly they can accomplish anything, with their
Mm-hmm.
heart and with their mind. And so I think it's so great that we're having these conversations so that way more people can, hopefully this will resonate with them and
Yep.
they will start investigating in ways that they can focus on their students or their children's emotional well-being at home or in the classroom or in their child
Yeah.
care center and what.
Definitely. I think that is such a lovely and powerful way to end off. Thank you for that. I think it's beautiful. So, everybody that's listening, you can hear the audio version. And again, it's the raw audio version of this interview. It'll be up on my YouTube page. And then, obviously, I'm going to be posting on Instagram and Facebook again. And it'll be Superhumans of ECE. So, make sure to check that out. Okay. Well, we're going to end off here. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you so much, Mona. Have a
Bye.
great rest of your day and stay safe and healthy.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
You, bye-bye.